Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna dear devotees, welcome to the Srimad Bhagavatam call. Today we are very fortunate we have our grace Prema Padmini Mataji from India. And Mataji is going to enlighten us from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 1, and verse numbers 47.
Okay,
Hare Krishna Mataji, you may take over the call.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Mukam Karoti Vachadam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Om Ajnanatamrindasya Gyanjana Shalakya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swaminati Namne Namacharya Padaya Nathai Kripa Pradayane Gaurakatha Dhamdaya Nagar Gram Tarne Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminati Namne Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pracharne Nirvisesh Sunyavadi Paschata Deshtarne Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 1, Text 47. The matter of the Supreme Lord is equal to everyone. Vairanu Vrena Dhyanenachyuta Satmatam Nitau Punardhare Parshvam Jagmatur Vishnu Parshadau. These two associates of Lord Vishnu, Jaya and Vijaya, maintained a feeling of enmity for a very long time. Because of always thinking of Krishna in this way, they regained the shelter of the Lord, having returned home back to Godhead. Whatever their position, certainly Jaya and Vijaya always thought of Krishna. Therefore, at the end of the Maushala Leela, these two associates of the Lord returned to Krishna. There is no difference between Krishna's body and Narayana's body. Therefore, although they visibly entered the body of Krishna, they actually re-entered Vaikuntha Loka as the doorkeepers of Lord Vishnu. Through Lord Krishna's body, they returned to Vaikuntha, although they seem to have attained Sayujya Mukti in Krishna's body. And, okay, so that's the very last verse about, this Jaya and Vijaya are being cursed. Right? So that's how it begins, the pastime of Prahlad Maharaj. Because it is, in fact, the very first avatar of Jaya and Vijaya on this earth in order to facilitate the Lord's, desire to fight. And a devotee once a pure devotee cannot do anything but in the service of Krishna. And so you can see how to act as an asura also as a service. Anything can be, done for the pleasure of Krishna. Even to act like an asura for the pleasure of Krishna. So this is amazing service. Jaya and Vijaya, who are so much, dedicated to serving Lord Vaikuntanath, Lord Narayana in the Vaikuntha world as his doorkeepers. the very last doorkeeper, 7 sets of doors leading to Narayana's palace, and the very last one was Jaya and Vijaya. And from such a very, very ecstatic service, when they were informed that, they have to go, they had a choice, either go for 7 births as a devotee or 3 births as an asura. Both were only for his service. But actually, the 3 births is much more for his service because, uh, that's what Krishna wanted. That's why he got them cursed, because he wanted them to act like asuras so that he could fight with them. So imagine a devotee is ready to even become an asura or to take even material birth for the service of Krishna. So it proves very well that it doesn't matter where you are, and it doesn't even matter what you do, simply the mood of serving Krishna. We don't know what will satisfy Krishna. Some devotees will raise this issue that, oh, we thought that, once you take, once you go back to Godhead, you'll never come back to this material world. Then why did Jay and Vijaya come here as asuras? It's very frightening. But their coming here is not in the same way that we have come. They are completely protected by Narayana, completely under his lotus feet, actually. But simply through Yogamaya, they're covered into thinking that they are asuras and that they are actually hating Krishna. So that is, and as soon as Krishna's Mausala Leela, when he left Dwaraka, so then that's it. They also entered the body as who, in that, this thing, Shishupala and Dantavakra, right? So they merged as asuras. They merged. The soul was seen leaving their bodies and entering Krishna's, but actually it was not Sahyajya Mukti, and it was not even that they went to Goloka Vrindavana because they entered, or Dwaraka, but they actually went back to, because this is another thing which makes it very clear that all these forms are only one Krishna's. There is only one God. Sometimes devotees also get, in the mental this thing, understanding that each form is different. Narayanas, there are so many Narayanas, there are so many Krishnas, and so on. Krishna and Dwaraka is different from Krishna and Mathura and Vrindavan and all these things. Or even Narayana, between the connection between Narayana form and Krishna, all are just one. Only he changes his dress and the mood to interact with each devotee in the mood that is suitable or in the mood that they desire. So, that's another thing we can see how the same Krishna took him wherever they had to go. And and also the fact that Krishna, if you think of him in whatever form, in the sense, in whatever mood you think of him, because you thought of Krishna, you get purified. Even, these were exalted asuras who are actually pure devotees. But even other asuras, like Kamsa, or Kamsa is not from the spiritual world, but because of meditating all the time on Krishna with hatred, he also became purified and eligible for being liberated. Though Sayujya Mukti, he merged in the body of Krishna. But because non-stop, that is the obsession which happens. There are some people in the world, they have some kind of a, either they want to take revenge on somebody, or they're just excessive envy or hatred. All their life, they'll be meditating on this person, how I must exterminate. So when you're thinking, it's possible out of hatred, it's easier actually to think about someone in hatred so much, because, in the material world, that is the passion. The mode of passion and ignorance comes very naturally. So Kamsa and all that, they directed their hatred towards Krishna, and they kept on thinking of him in disgust and anger and all these things. But still, because they thought about Krishna, he became eligible for liberation from this material world. And what if we think about Krishna non-stop out of love for him? That is what we have to struggle. Being a devotee is more difficult because in the material world, being an asura comes very naturally. But to become a devotee, because that's our original position actually. But still, because we've forgotten that and we're identifying ourselves so much with the body, and that's why to get back our original love for Krishna takes so difficult because of it's already there. We are already devotees. But because of our identification with the body, now we forgotten and we don't even have any feelings for Krishna. Um, and so this is the whole journey of uncovering, this like Jaya and Vijaya, we also belong to the spiritual world. But Jaya and Vijaya were completely controlled by the Lord. That's the difference. Now we are totally under the material energy, and we are being controlled by the material energy, but we are thinking that I'm only controlling. But we have exercised our independence into choosing wrongly, not the service of Krishna, but the service of Maya, where we think I'm the controller. So even now, we are indirectly under the control of Krishna only. But Krishna is controlling us through fear. That's the only reason we follow all religious duties, have to rules which are there in the scriptures. To whatever extent we at least are aware of God and we are afraid, then through fear only He controls us. But when we become devotees and we are in the spiritual energy, out of love, a devotee can do anything for Krishna. Anything. Even the devotee says the gopis are ready to go to hell for Krishna. There is nothing the devotee is not ready to do, even hate him. Imagine even hating him because he wanted it. Jaya and Vijaya were ready to hate him. Just imagine what kind of surrender this is. That a devotee, and so we should never question Krishna. Oh, you told me like this. This is not the terms of our, agreement. You said that in Bhagavad Gita, you told me that once you come back to the spiritual world, you'll never again come to this miserable material world. And now why you're asking me to go to the earth again for whatever preaching work or something? I mean, once we go there, he may ask us, but coming here as a pure devotee is so much different. I mean, opposite, 180 degrees opposite. That is out of love for Krishna. The devotee feels ecstasy to do any service for Krishna if it will satisfy him. Not even that he should be next to Krishna always or be in the spiritual world or enjoying only the company of all beautiful, wonderful people. Why would we want to come to this horrible, hellish people, especially when we are purified? Will we want to come here, and especially in Kali Yuga? And that's where maximum preaching happens. In all other yugas, there's not no, there's not so much of preaching required. There are sages and sannyasis going around, and those who are, following the Varnashrama, and they feel that, I need, when they take Vanaprasth and they take sannyas, they automatically go to these sages, ashrams, and get benefited. And but all others, they're all there doing their own duties and everything. Door to door calling, every canvassing and all doesn't happen. We don't see in the Bhagavatam. We see some great sages, they just go around and they even go door to door, like Shukadeva Goswami. He would go door to door to beg milk on stay there only for the time that they're milking the cow. So actively, even he's not preaching, but just his association, his presence would purify them. Maybe they would take his blessings or ask one or two questions, whatever. That's all, not active preaching. Only in Kali Yuga, because the people have no capacity even to understand that I need spiritual advancement, that this world is temporary and I The goal of my life is spiritual emancipation. People are not even aware of that fact, not even about moksha. Nobody thinks, they think that this life is all there is. Enjoy yourself to the maximum, and end of the life, you become nothing. They don't even think what will happen at the end. To that extent, they become so short sighted that nobody even thinks what will happen at death. They don't even inquire about that. They don't want to think about it. They think death is a solution, finished. After that, you just don't exist. And they think that suffering also, if you're suffering, you can put an end to suffering, just die. That's it. Commit suicide, no more suffering. So, because so many people are ready to commit suicide, then we can understand this is what they're thinking, that once you die, everything is over. And that's why they don't mind killing some people. Anybody, if they are a threat to me, or I want something of theirs, or I just hate them, I want them, they're a, I don't know, some discomfort through them, because of them, then just murder them. And they don't have any fear about what are the consequences, what will happen to, because they think that when I die, everything is over, so I can do whatever I want. And they also, once they're dead, that's it, finished. So short-sighted is our understanding of life itself. And that's why Krishna, I mean, Kali Yuga, maximum number of people from the spiritual world come here for preaching. We know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, first, he is the topmost avatar. He appeared, and along with Baladev, I mean, Nityananda, Gadadhar, or the Panchatattva came. And along with that, how many hundreds of pure devotees from the spiritual world, all together, they all appeared just 500 years ago in Kali Yuga. Okay, so we can understand that this is the age which requires maximum, help by the people, because they're not even aware of anything. They don't even know they require help. And so the people have to approach and tell them, first of all, attract their attention through something. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave easy method, Sankirtan, Prasadam. People like to sing, dance, feast, and in this way attract them. And then tell them, okay, just chant Hare Krishna, okay, sing and dance. So they think, this is very nice. I like dancing. And make all the most, I mean, this is very, very subtle and very sophisticated method of spiritual emancipation, where a person is not even aware what's happening and they get purified. They don't have the slightest inclination for spiritual advancement, and still they get advanced. Now, what more can be, more merciful than this? That a person is not even aware, and then still they get spiritual realizations. So that is the mercy in the Kali Yuga. And so maybe Krishna wants some souls to go there, and he may tell, okay, you go to the earth and to preach in Kali Yuga. And definitely we will not jump. I mean, it's not a very attractive thing to do, but when we think how much it means to Krishna, that he may, I mean, others may think, rascals, why did they leave Krishna? Then let them decide to come, and then whatever. But when the soul knows, I mean, devotee knows that Krishna is very, very sad, and he knows this is like a reformatory place or a jail. A parent may, while wanting to chastise his naughty child, may lock him up in a room because the child is very disobedient and misbehaving and all that. But the parent is always thinking, when can I open the door and bring my child back from that room? He's not happy about the child's situation there. He's not even angry with the child. He's feeling more than the normal other children who are behaving well, who are in the other room with him. He is thinking all the time about that. He's very worried about that child who's still in that locked up room. When do I get back the child? He has not forgotten the child. And he may send his other children, please go talk to that child, to your brother or sister, and bring them back, tell them. So this is the mood. And any child, if the other children say, no, I don't want to go to that room, and then he'll misbehave, he might hit me, and very difficult, is very. So then, okay, for a parent, okay, don't go, it's okay if you don't want to go. But if one child says, no, 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 I will take it up because you want my brother or sister, I also want him back, so I'll go. And Krishna is very, I mean, the parent is very happy. So anything for the service of Krishna, that is the extent of love that Krishna and the living entity shares. The jiva, so much love. Then you can imagine if the jiva feels so much love for Krishna, then how much must be the love Krishna feels for everyone. He's got the capacity to love so many unlimited number of people. The jiva, okay, to actually act on a personal level. See, devotees, they may also, have very close, many thousands, even we see some pure devotees are able to interact. But on a personal level, very close, only a few they can interact on that intense level. But for Krishna, he can, with every living entity, completely give himself to that devotee. That's why he's got unlimited potency of love. And he keeps on expanding. It seems never to ebb. He has so much love to give unlimited living entities and exchange with them. And we have only actual relationship with Krishna. And through him only it is reflected relationship with everyone else. We love others because they're part and parcel of Krishna, who's most dear to me. And that is how we also love. I mean, in the spiritual world, all living entities love each other. But that love is because they share that common love towards Krishna. So, that is the purpose of our life. And so, going back to Godhead is a very great thing. Everybody is very much amazed if some living entity realizes is, he wakes up and he understands, what am I doing here? What is this world all about? Um, then when he wakes up, then he starts, doing things. Then of course, it's Krishna all the time with the living entity trying to make him wake up, about the real purpose. Actually, then when he wakes up, he realizes that whatever has happened to me, at least in this life, we know whatever has happened so far is simply a progression in order to come to the point of waking up and concentrating on our actual relationship with God and to go back to the eternal world. Just so many things are not, people are not aware of this entire process, of entire purpose of life itself. You see, until we come to spiritual awakening, we're just going around hardly aware of who we are, where we come. Even about the material world itself, we are not aware at all. We're just aware of our own small worlds and all the sense gratification we value very much, which keeps on multiplying and working hard to fulfill that, desires which keep on increasing, multiplying. Every life, we seem to have finished up whatever we came for, sense gratification. But then, while fulfilling those material desires, we added more because we saw some more possibilities. And then again, we develop another set of desires. And for that sake, we take another birth. And like this, we've just kept on and on and on. Just imagine every life, some more desires and another body, totally different from maybe what we had. Maybe we saw somebody else doing some other things. Oh, I really wish I could also do that. Then again, another set of body, and another set of experiences in different positions, in different worlds, situations, bodies, what all we have done just to satisfy our mind, which was, very creative mind, thinking, wanting to imagine ourselves in different situations and positions, completely unaware of who we are. So, I mean, that's how it is. And then suddenly some devotee comes and, initially we tend to look at them suspiciously. What does this person want? Because in the material world, it's fully exploitative. If somebody wants something from you, then people always, are very suspicious of somebody who tries to be a stranger, especially who tries to be extra nice to you and says, I will give you some free thing, please come, and all that. They have some trap, I think. And nowadays, of course, there are so many traps like that, right? People say, you've won a lottery, please call this number. And then you call, then they'll say, okay, just, put in some little money, because in order to claim that, you have to, you know, I have to, you have to pay some tax or something like that. They hoodwink us and then they run away. So people are always wary of cheats. So we look at great suspicion. What do these people want? And then, of course, somehow, because Krishna is involved and he's guiding some living entity who's fortunate enough to wake up, and Krishna is forced, I mean, those encounters are not according to our karma. Those encounters are arranged by Krishna himself, whom we should meet, which devotee to meet, and what the devotee tells us. And then, of course, we think, oh, it's very nice. We go to the ISKCON temple and programs, and then we meet the spiritual master. Everything is all arranged by Krishna, because now he thinks, okay, let me take them out of this jail. And the faster we want to wake up from this dream completely, we start chanting and doing everything, then it's like, we're just slowly coming out of this dream. And then we are enjoying also, like sometimes the dream is very nice. We linger in the bed more. We know it's time to get up, but we don't get up immediately. Oh, nice dream. Let me dream for some more time. So devotees who've started their devotional activities are in that state where we know we have to get up. Now, no more, living in that dream. We know it's a dream and we have to wake up, but we have not yet fully woken up because we are enjoying the dream. And we think, I hope, I can get up also and dream also. So all these things are there. And sometimes, uh, you know, so sometimes in order to make us wake up fast, Krishna may change the dream. Okay, you're enjoying the dream. And now I'll give you some bad dream. Then you want to get up. Oh, I don't want this dream. And you jump out of bed and then you start doing your actual work. So that is what it is all meant for. And he's also got positive things for us, because we're not ready. Even if we just wake up, okay, this is not the real world. And there is only suffering in this world. I try to enjoy, there is so-called enjoyment, but then that's temporary and then there is suffering. And so we realize that. But then what is the positive thing? Because there are so many people who realize that this world is not, it's temporary and full of miseries, but they don't know what is the positive thing to do. They may get disgusted with the world, and they may leave this world even. They renounce, they may do austerities, or what, I mean, they may cultivate knowledge, or they may do yoga, whatever, in order to, uh, you know, forget this world. But unless we get something positive, what is the, mm, uh, what am I mean, what is my actual position, eternal self? What am I going to be doing when okay, we come to know also that, this body, we have to come out of the bodily perception that we are body and soul. All these things are already there. All religions talk about it. I'm not talking of the whole world, not only within India. Of course, everybody knows dharma, artha, kama, moksha as a thing. And they know we have so many sadhus and sannyasis who have given up this world. And you do find them here and there, and they do keep telling how this world is false. So we know that we have to look for something. And there are Himalayas, so many ashrams. So people find that quite easily. But most of them are impersonalist ashrams, where only they talk about renunciation. But what about what happens in the spiritual world? That has to be very attractive. Just renouncing this world, okay, that itself gives them happiness, no more suffering. And the very fact that I'm a spiritual being, I'm eternal, that itself is a big relief from having to, undergo. It's like sleeping, going through a dream, which is very, very bad. And at least when you get up, there's no more dream. You feel a big relief. And that is the situation they all are. Okay, I'm not dreaming the bad dream. I'm out of it. But then they don't know after getting up, what do I do? That is not very attractive also. So they're just sitting there without the dream. And a person, a devotee, is one who has understood that what I'm supposed to do. And then that's very, very attractive. And then he gets busy and he's very happy. He knows this is my eternal position. He's the one who's complete in realization and happiness and knowledge and everything. So that's why Srimad Bhagavatam, because it talks only about the Lord's pastimes, all about him, how he created this material world, all these things. And so, um, so um, by reading that, by studying the Srimad Bhagavatam, then a person becomes completely saturated with love for Krishna. Only Srimad Bhagavatam can give us pure devotional service because it's the cream of all Vedic literature. The cream essence of all Vedas is given in the Vedanta Sutra. And Vedanta Sutra is all philosophical treatises, short aphorisms. I mean, it's all about our spiritual identity and all that. But it's highly philosophical. So simply reading those texts will not, I mean, most conditioned beings will not read all that. Vedanta Sutra, it's for very highly advanced people in the mode of goodness who simply hear Atato Brahma Jignasa. Okay, then they will know, okay, this world is false and now we have to wake up, or anything. Tattvamasi, so many, just short texts. And just by hearing that, then so much knowledge just comes into their head, or they are able to read the texts, the Vedas, and understand them. You need a lot of goodness for that, like, great sages and all that, totally in Sattva Guna. But in Kali Yuga, all those things, or even other ages, to study Vedanta Sutra is not for ordinary people. And so that's why Vyasadeva, even after writing the Vedanta Sutra, he was not satisfied. Because unless we do what Krishna wants completely, half-hearted, we do half the thing, we are still not fully satisfied. A sincere soul will go the complete way and do everything what Krishna wants. Then he'll be very happy. Otherwise, he is not be satisfied. But if you are not, fully into that, satisfying Krishna, then little bit we'll do, we are happy. Okay, I chanted 16 rounds. I did, whatever I did, my devotional activities for the day. I did Arati, I did this, I offered. Okay, now I'm ready to do other things. So we think this much is enough. If I keep doing this, then one day I'll go back to Godhead. There is no need to be too much worried about anything else. But does it satisfy completely? No, it doesn't. And if we are sincere, we will wonder why. Even though I'm just chanting 16 rounds, doing, why I'm not still fully happy and satisfied? Maybe I have to do something more. Then you inquire from the Guru, what should I do? Then he may, whatever, different services according to our natures. He tells us, do this. Then when we follow that, that is when we'll be fully satisfied. When we are satisfying Krishna. So Vyasadeva also, though he is this, avatar, like Krishna's avatar. So Sakya Vesha avatar. So still, when he wrote up to Vedanta Sutra, he had written everything. And he's still feeling very disturbed and is highly intellectual, highly in the mode of goodness. So he went into his heart and he was examining, because heart is where the eternal teacher, Paramatma, Chaitya Guru is there. So he was really, really trying to figure out why, after doing all this, I'm still not satisfied. He was feeling very morose. Automatically it's like that. All living entities, if they're doing all good activities, they feel very, very happy, satisfied, inner satisfaction. But if they're doing all sinful activities, automatically they become morose. And that is why most of all sinful activities are accompanied by a lot of intoxication, because they really feel unhappy. Unhappy when you keep on displeasing Krishna. How can you be happy? And that's why all sinful people have to have intoxication to forget their moroseness. On the other hand, when we start satisfying Krishna, we feel so happy. We don't need intoxication. We avoid, oh, horrible. Why do I need that? I am happy just doing good work. So good people don't need any of those extra things to, prop ourselves up. And most of all the depression which is happening today in people is simply because of this, because they're not satisfying the Paramatma in their hearts. So they feel depressed and they wonder why, and they think it's some chemical in the brain. That is just a manifestation of the subtle expressing itself in a gross form. Subtly, the soul is so unhappy because not satisfying Krishna, displeasing him so much. Then we go into depression. And 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 so then only when we start, that's why chanting Hare Krishna, chant and be happy, because this is the best service to Krishna. The minute we start chanting, Krishna is so happy with a living entity. Finally, you came to your senses. Now you're on your way towards me. And then that's why we feel happy, because we are satisfying Krishna. Otherwise, people wonder, what is this chant? Chant and be happy. Simply I chant and how I can be happy? We are happy because we are satisfying Krishna. And if he is happy, we also become happy. So Vyasadeva was not completely satisfied and he was wondering, I've done, he was examining, introspecting himself. I've done all this with, all the tapasyas I did with a proper frame of mind, only for the well-being of all living entities. So much compassion he's not doing for himself, name and fame and position or whatever. He was simply doing it out of deep, he was very sincerely doing it for the well-being of all the living entities. That is why he was doing. So then why am I not feeling happy? Maybe, then he speculated, maybe because I did not glorify Krishna enough. That is why. Or pure devotional service I've not described. I told everything else. The Vedas help us to elevate our consciousness up to the point of understanding that I am not the body, I'm the soul. And also Puranas explain about the Supreme Lord and how, to some extent, our relationship, how our dependency on him. But it is for enjoying still in the material world. Still not, doesn't describe our complete relationship beyond this material world. So that is why he was, maybe because of that, because I didn't really talk about the ultimate relationship between the Atma and the Paramatma, between the living entity and Krishna. Maybe he was just thinking in his mind. And then immediately Paramatma is aware. So he sent the Guru, Narada Muni, immediately over there. And Narada Muni asked, what happened? Are you fine? And all that. Why you're looking disturbed? And then Vyasadeva expressed, I don't know why. I'm doing my service. Why I'm not happy? And then Narada Muni gave him, yes. What is the use? Will you be happy if you thought you're the mind, or if you think you're the body? How can anybody be happy? That's why the processes that you've mentioned, yoga, jnana, or even Mishra Bhakti, still attached to the body and mind. How can the soul be happy? How can Krishna be happy unless the soul is given the chance to come back to him? That is what makes him happy. And so that is, I think, how can the soul be, just a minute, please give me a second. I'm sorry for the break. How can anybody be, this is what Krishna wants, to eternal relationship, to come back to him, to interact with him in our original relationship. And so, until we do that, we're not going to be happy. And so, this is the greatest benediction in Kali Yuga, that the Lord himself comes. Imagine, he can't bear it any longer. And in Kali Yuga, that's what even Advaita Acharya said, it's impossible. These people are totally not interested in spiritual life. Even so-called religion, they're performing only for more sense gratification. My Lord, only you can save them. Something very, very, very strong is required. Otherwise, they're not even going to wake up at all. Otherwise, if you don't come, I'm going to, my form as Vishnu form, I'm going to just use all my weapons and chop them off fast. I can't tolerate this asuric behavior. And that's why Advaita Acharya, out of deep compassion, actually he has compassion. Even the killing of asuras is out of deep compassion, so that they will be freed from all their sins and they don't have to suffer in hell. Krishna also finds it painful to see his, his parts and parcel living entities undergo all this punishment and suffering. And even though we deserve it, because we have defied him, we've run away from him, done all the sinful activities, because running away from Krishna means running away from light into darkness. And in the dark alleys, what will you find but all sin? Darkness is Maya. Jahan Krishna, tahan nahi Maya adhikar. Krishna Surya Saman, Maya hai andhakar. Jahan Krishna, tahan nahi Maya adhikar. But then, when Krishna is not there, Maya is full adhikar. So the minute you get into darkness, that Maya takes charge, and then before long, we're completely lost. We don't have any idea about Krishna. And we think, oh, just imagine, our intelligence becomes so covered that we think that these temporary joys and suffering in this world is everything. And whatever, even a pig or a hog, even in that body, it thinks it's enjoying itself if it gets some stool to eat. That's how degraded we become. That's how all temporary pleasures squeezing out from this body, we think that is enjoyment, that is happiness, and no amount is enough. Keep on persisting, working very hard just to get some pleasures which we can experience with the body's senses and mind. So much covering happens. And that's why, um, you know, uh, the more we don't please Krishna, the more we we become very morose, we become dull. And then somehow somebody comes by Krishna's mercy. We require his mercy actually to wake us up. And that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who's personally come in this age. And because we are so dull, we cannot accept God in this age, right? We might become envious of him also. He has come as his own devotee and very, very humble. He is showing us, okay, just follow me. This is what our devotee should be. And, then he's ready to be insulted, attacked, abused, criticized, everything. He took it just so that, somehow we will agree. Somehow we will agree to, chant Krishna's names. And that is the once, even if you've chanted, okay, then Krishna says, okay, now I will take charge. You're already purified. You told my name once. So that is the extent of compassion of the Supreme Lord, and how then we realize, and then Prabhupada, Krishna sent Prabhupada also, go to that, I want you to go to this. He expressed this in one of his conversations. They mentioned that, Prabhupada revealed that Krishna wanted me to come here and I was not interested. I said, oh, I don't want to go to that place. And Krishna said, no, don't worry, I'll do everything. You just go there. So he needs the pure devotee. Krishna does everything. Actually, Krishna is only doing everything. A pure devotee is like, through him, Krishna works through him. But all ideas, knowledge, empowerment, or arrangements, everything is done by Krishna. And a pure devotee, that's why Prabhupada said, I'm a puppet in your hands, Krishna. Make me dance, make me dance, make me dance as you want. That is the ecstasy. Because he is the source and we are the object, or we are dependent on the source for everything, for all the energy. They're inseparable. We're not incomplete because we're so dependent on Krishna, because our original form itself, our original position is to be completely dependent on Krishna. The two are inseparable. And that is why we have the avatar, Nara Narayana Rishi. Nara and Narayana, always together. They're doing tapasya together, and they are the this thing, even like they are what do you call like an avatar of Krishna and Arjuna. Krishna and Arjuna always together, right? Like that, every living entity is always with Krishna, inseparable. We cannot exist without him at all. And that's why Krishna knows that. We don't know that. We want to think, let me see if I can do. Why should I always be with Krishna? Let me be alone. But Krishna knows that we cannot live, we are inseparable. So he hides himself within our heart and he's taking care of us. But we are thinking, I don't need anyone to take care. I'm very independent. I'm very smart. And that is the undoing. And that's why we suffer. And that's why we get into depression. The more we feel disconnected with Krishna, disoriented, and we feel lost, we don't know what's the purpose of life. And then that's why we need constant entertainment, right? But it's so boring in this material world. The more further we have come away from Krishna, it's so boring. We become very dull. So all the time we need entertainment, and that entertainment factory has appeared in the form of television, and then now we have the mobiles. This is what we are seeking. We are so bored. So we need entertainment, and non-stop entertainment is available in the form of a mobile. And so people are glued to the mobile because now I can have something to forget all my misery, to entertain me. I don't even need other people. They are not entertaining, but this is more entertaining. Whatever I want, I can just switch. I can get whatever information I need, entertainment I want. You see how people are completely entrapped because they're really bored in this material world, and they need entertainment. But that entertainment makes them even worse. People have become so inhuman because of being so selfish. It makes you very, very selfish because you're only thinking of your own entertainment. What about the real love of the soul? This is mode of ignorance and passion, simply wanting to be passive and to be entertained. But actually, there is the real life is one of service. The more we are just getting entertained, we are thinking, I'm the enjoyer. This is very nice. I don't need to do anything, just sit and be enjoyer of everything. I just sit in one place, all knowledge comes to me, all entertainment, all communication also, simply sitting in one place. People have become so lazy that even if there is something urgent, okay, you have to contact people, then you should call them. No, they don't even want to do that. They just make message and they wait. And then if you say why, then afterwards they'll say, oh, I messaged you and you never answered. Hey, why didn't you call me? Even that much laziness. So this is how it is. Maya makes you so crazy that you don't want to do any effort. The more you try to enjoy this material world, you become more dull and unintelligent and depressed. All those things we are seeing in today's world. And totally insensitive, completely selfish, not concerned about other people at all. There is passion and compassion. What is passion? Passion is the desire to satisfy your own senses and mind and enjoy. And compassion is trying to understand other people, what their needs are, what are their feelings, and how I can help them if they're in their suffering. Not simply giving some lip service, oh, so sad, okay. And then you just say that, okay, that is at least they'll feel, okay, somebody at least told some sweet words. But real compassion means that I'm ready to do something to help you to come out of that. So that is no compassion, only passion. Passion rules the world and everything. So that's why they're so much separated from their true reality of relationship with Krishna. And that relationship is the what is most exciting. Just thinking about Krishna, you can imagine Krishna, how full of variety and fun. Everything is coming from him only. Even this material reality, whatever we are, all these different toys that we manufacture, mobiles and all that, that is all a small little, manifestation of Krishna's potency. Then how exciting he must be, how beautiful. He completely, eternally, we are going to be mesmerized by him. And we are going to be engaged in activities with him. And where, of course, he is the predominator, he's the one who gives us everything. But the love, I mean, we're not separated from him also. We are one with him in the sense that we are, thinking, we are surrendered to Krishna. And Krishna also gives freedom, out of love for his devotee. He also satisfies, he wants to serve his devotee. It's an exchange of love. Between the living entity and Krishna, and that is what will satisfy the soul completely. Until then, we want some sops this way, that way, some entertainment, some material rewards, some material excitement, sense gratification. We are constantly looking for all these things because we are once used to complete entertainment. Entertainment means as the servant. That is real entertainment. I mean, for us, only in the mood of service. Krishna is also always full of variety, color, not in a, I mean, he is just very exciting person. But our mood is of one being a servant, not as the equal enjoyer like Krishna. Okay, you're enjoying, I'll also enjoy. We both are two lords. No, only Ekala Ishwara Krishna Arsava Bhartya. Only he is the enjoyer. Every other expansions of his are also servants of Krishna, and they all love it. Nobody is thinking, Balrama is not thinking, I'm also same Supreme Personality of Godhead, why I should be servant, I'll also be one God. No, this is servitor God. He's God, but he's taken the mood of a servant. Even Krishna wants to serve his devotees, is looking for ways to satisfy, what Arjuna wants or what my Radhe wants, and like this. So it is full of love and service. That is the only thing we need to learn. And Prabhupada said, you just cleanse your heart and try to re-establish your connection with Krishna. Everything in your life will change. That is all. All this, illusory happiness and distress are simply because of forgetting Krishna and the dirt that we have accumulated over lifetimes, which is covering our true relationship and put us into forgetfulness of this glorious relationship and making us think that this temporary world will satisfy me. That is the greatest, what do you call, source of all inauspiciousness. And we have to wake up out of that. And that's why the Bhagavatam, it is said, the Srimad Bhagavatam has arisen like a sun in order to remove the darkness of Kali Yuga. And at the end of the Bhagavatam, Sukadeva Goswami asks, are you satisfied, Parikshit? Do you want anything more to hear? Because he was the one who's asking all the questions, and Sukadeva Goswami in response was saying everything. Anything more to hear? And Sukadeva Goswami said, you have told me everything. And because of that, such wonderful descriptions of the Lord's leelas and qualities, and because of that, the Supreme Lord, I've got them completely. I can see him now. I don't want to know anything more. I'm very satisfied. So just by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, we can actually see the Lord. Just by chanting Hare Krishna mantra, we can see the Lord. I mean, we are going towards that. Parikshit Maharaj took 7 days. I mean, he was already a pure devotee, but for our sake, he was 7 days of listening to Srimad Bhagavatam, and then he had complete knowledge of Krishna. He could see him. And for us, it may take much longer, so many years maybe, to come to that point. But definitely within this lifetime, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, if you do, Bhagavati Uttama Shloke, Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki, in our heart, Bhakti is established. And wherever there is Bhakti, Krishna will be there. He's attracted by Bhakti. That's why it is mentioned that in the Bhagavatam, devotional service is more potent than the Supreme Lord, because devotional service attracts the Lord. Wherever there is bhakti to him, Krishna will definitely be there. And then there will always be light when Krishna is there. So that is why we need to, this is our only purpose in life, and we have to dovetail everything in Krishna's service. Always remember that, never forget Krishna, always remember Krishna, and in the mood of a servant. Whatever work I do, that doesn't mean you have to give up any work. I mean, as long as it's not sinful or something, but it is mode of passion only, whatever earning and family life, everything. But we can, by acting as a servant of Krishna, then we can slowly purify and quickly connect with Krishna. That is why chanting Hare Krishna is the most important activity, because this is the only thing which establishes our relationship with Krishna, that you are the master and I'm the servant. Nothing else can give us this. That's why it is the most valuable, precious thing, because it gets us Krishna completely to ourselves. Okay, thank you very much, Hare Krishna. Questions or comments?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Madhava Pranam to you. Srila Prabhupada
Level.
ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. So nice. For me, I heard you after some while, and it was really a wonderful class. There's a lot of enthusiasm when you speak. And yeah, these verses are like so, they are so good because, they increase our faith towards Krishna because, like in the previous verses also we are hearing about Sisupal and all these. I mean, how, whether negatively. So one question that comes to my mind is that, yes, how my mind is working is, it says that these people are actually, they like, we heard about Jay and Vijay, right? So actually they are really playing the perfect role, like any villain will play a role in a movie, and in that, like, it's like, uh, I mean, I would give them like 100 points, so to say. And it's amazing to hear this, that uh, like how everybody, Krishna is associated with his devotees only, and to give him pleasure, like he wants to fight, then that also he does with devotees only, like that. So if you can reflect something on this, it's very intriguing to the mind, that because when we hear about the different kathas like Ravan and all that, then that time, uh, like Bhagavatam is giving a different perspective. But when we are hearing that, we actually feel that there are Ravan like people in this world. And like, we really think of Ravan as a true Ravan. We are not thinking of the story of how he came, like, Jaya Vijay came for 3 years. And but Bhagavatam gives it completely different insight of, so what is Bhagavatam trying to say to us, that uh, is it that Krishna will only associate with his devotees only? His devotees will only be the ones he'll fight with. Does he not have anything to do with the others other than his devotees?
No, because Krishna wants to have a good fight. And only his pure devotees will have that much potency to fight. Otherwise, you know what, with us, I mean, here we hardly, there is nobody, even the biggest demon is not strong enough to fight Krishna. It doesn't feel satisfied. That is why he got them and all the Ravana, Hiranyakashipu, everyone, Jaya, Vijaya, because they were so strong and they can give. You see how powerful they were. They control the whole universe. Where are such demons? Krishna wants a good challenge. No, that is why.
Yes.
He wants a
And
good opponent.
also a lot of other things come out of it. Like, for example, Ravan was praying to Lord Shiva. He was doing like intense worship. And then that lesson also comes out of it, that we should not worship Lord Shiva, because those prayers are not eternally helping us. It's not helping us. It might help us for immediate gain. So from these kathas, so much, like, just like we hear, the Bhagavad Gita is not actually spoken to Arjuna. Like, each time we reading Bhagavad Gita, it's for us. So
Mm.
basically, there is so much other kathas coming out from this, and there's so many other people involved in it, where it's amazing how Krishna is trying to teach us in this Kali Yuga, and I mean, only through the books we can learn. And but it's just like intrigued my mind to think, because when I'm hearing, like, now Ram Navami is coming, birth of Lord Ram, and there's another question I have about that. So, in the sense that, like, everybody comes in this thing, like, together. So, like, regarding the Navratri and all are going on now, I believe it's from the 9th to 17th, Mataji, and it also comes again. So I believe that, yeah, like one is when, Lord Ram fought and came back, where we, light the houses with diya, and also the Damodar Leela also comes in place, and so many other things happen together in that auspicious month of Damodar. So now, so then we all also hear of the Navratri. So I wanted to know how the 9 days of worship of the Devi is connected to Krishna consciousness from the uh, month, Damodar month time, and also like now when it has come again. So how come it is again the Devis are worship? Because this time of the year, we just know it's an appearance, just like we have appearance of Lord Shiva, or we have appearance of, like Ganesh ji, or some other devtas, or even appearance of Krishna Janmashtami is there. So I was just, my mind was thinking that how this Navratri and Devis and all this is connected, and how do we understand from Krishna conscious perspective, or we don't need to understand. We don't need to go into the details of what is going on, about the Navratri and stuff. So if you can shed some
No,
light
it
on
is
that.
that. No, we don't have to know, but if you want to
Yeah.
know, yes, it is always all part of our, it's all part of Krishna only. But that Navaratri and this Navaratri, it is all nothing to do with us because it is all for the worship of Devi. And that Navaratri, they'll say 3 days for Parvati, 3 days for Lakshmi, 3 days for Saraswati. But this Navaratri also, they have a Saraswati puja, right?
Yeah, I
They
don't
have
know
a
much about it.
Saraswati.
I have never, I just know Navratri come, and there is first and second Navratri. Some people fast, and things like that. Like I know from the Hindu family perspective of those families who believe in, not Krishna being supreme, but Shiva,
Durga.
Brahma, Vishnu, you know, and then Vishnu is not coming from Krishna for them. From them, Vishnu is like separate, and Krishna is one of the 9 incarnations. So
Yeah.
I have learned, and I was raised from that point of view. So I don't know, but I was just thinking that does Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita or any of the Puranas mention about this Navratri aspect, or just because every year it comes, and I'm like, people become, they stop eating onion, garlic, and many things happen. Although we follow it 365 a days, but for them it becomes very hard. The 9 days now they have to follow the some regulations also, and all these things. Um, I see that when I come across a lot of people who are in the brand of the Hindu, not the Sanatan Dharma, but the Hindu, they're following, Hindu Dharma.
That is
So,
Sanatan Dharma only. The
yes.
Devi worship is also part of Sanatan Dharma. Why do you think
Okay.
that is? It is also part because Krishna has only created that as a stepping stone.
Hmm.
All Hindu, everybody who's whatever worship they are doing, whatever forms, whatever methods, everything is part of Sanatan Dharma as a stepping stone. That's why Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, I only increase the faith of people who, I mean, they want something very badly, then I make them have faith towards a particular devata because Paramatma is the, actually we are connected only with Paramatma, but because we are not ready to surrender to Paramatma, Paramatma makes that person surrender to somebody else, his agent, so that, they can get purified. So it is all part of Sanatan Dharma. Everything is part. Shiva worshippers are also part of Sanatan Dharma because it is all a
Hmm.
stepping stone. Everybody is part of Sanatan Dharma, not only devotees of Krishna. This is all, they're all eternal, they're all agents of Krishna, and all of them have the same uh, duty given by Krishna to elevate people to Krishna consciousness. Lord Shiva is also elevating people through his association so that finally they'll be ready to surrender to Krishna. Because they're not ready to surrender to Krishna. Krishna is too pure. And so Shiva takes the tamuguna aspect so that he is easily accessible to those who cannot, conceive of that sattvic things. It is too difficult or they're not attracted by that. So that is why he comes in that form and he is easily accessible to elevate us by worshipping him. He is not different from Krishna. He is an agent of Krishna. He is Sadashiva's expansion. Sadashiva, who is Narayana form. And so they are also part of Sanatan Dharma. Everybody, all the devatas are also part. They're all doing the duty of elevating us so that we can finally go and surrender to Krishna. So it is nice to know why they are worshipping Devi. There are so many things we don't know because it is all mentioned in the other Puranas, Linga Purana, Shiva Purana, Devi Purana, and all that. So maybe you can Google and see. I also have Linga Purana, Shiva Purana. I sometime back out of this thing, all the different, because Durga has got 9 forms, right? The Sailesha Putri, something and all different names she's got, and each day they worship that Rupa of hers. So that's where there are 9 forms and 9 days of worship, and because she is in charge of the material energy in this world, and so they worship her, and they normally ask for some material benediction only, but because she is the agent of Krishna, she is a servant of Krishna, and by worshipping her they develop, they get purified, and they because devata worship is in the mode of goodness. It elevates you in your goodness from total passion and ignorance, atheism, and materialistic this thing, because there are rules to follow when you're worshipping Devatas. More strict rules than even worshipping of Vishnu. Because Navratra, some of them 9 days they won't eat at all. Only lemon juice. I don't know how they survive. They survive. And they chant all the mantras, Devi worship and all, much more rigorous than us. Where do we fast like that? We have only one Ekadashi and okay, fasting till noon for some this thing. Okay, just Janmashtami and Gaura Purnima, we almost whole day for Gaura Purnima also we fast. Other than that, our fasting is nothing compared to Devi worship. And why? Because they are more attached to material this thing. So they have to do more tapasya for material things. They are attached. So they have to take more physical austerities. But when we are attached to Krishna, then there is no need, because we're not so attached to the body. We are attached to Krishna. So Krishna has made it easy. Okay, just do something out of love. Okay, a little bit. Our austerities are not so much compared to what they do for Devi. So it is purifying them from total ignorance. Then, all this purification, tapasya. And then because of Devi, she can reveal more in the material world itself. And then slowly her duty is to, finally, she also wants us to get purified and then surrender to Krishna, just like that Keshava Kashmiri. He was a worshipper of Lord Saraswati, Mata Saraswati. And then finally, he was enjoying himself because she made him succeed everywhere. Finally, she took him to Lord Chaitanya and he was defeated. And that's when he asked her, why did you? She appeared before him and told, you could not win against him because he himself is my master. He is Krishna. And so she took him to him and made him surrender to him. So, like that, all Devis are also agents of Krishna. So, they're part of the Sanatan Dharma.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. And Mataji, previously I was saying about, how when Krishna wants to fight, thank you for this positive answer. That Krishna wants to fight, so his own devotees he fights. But uh, ahead we're going to read about Prahlad Maharaj. So now that case is totally different, because in that his son is born like as a devotee. So that is like a big time lesson, to so many of us, at least for myself, where I feel that our children, I mean, we can take like thousands of lessons from that. How a pregnant lady should hear, because everything he got from the womb of the mother. And then father was like that, still he tolerated so much, and he was always thinking of his good. And so much so, but so since his father was connected, but Prahlad Maharaj was became a devotee. So here, Lord Krishna is trying to tell us that, even if from demoniac families, if somebody follows bhakti, then, they can be as good as Prahlad. At the age of 5, he started so young. Right, Mataji? So,
Yes.
so Prahlad doesn't have any, like Narad Muni had a connection when he was a baby, and these sadhus came, baby boy. Sadhus came, and then he took remnants, and then he did some seva. His mother was, he didn't even know who his father is.
No,
And then,
Narada Muni was speaking all Bhagavatam stories to his
yeah,
wife,
yeah.
to his mother.
But Narad,
Mm.
we know little bit about Narad ji in his previous life, and then next life he became Narad ji, right? Then his mother left him. We
Yeah.
read from Bhagavatam only. But for Prahlad Maharaj, what is the story at the back? How is his connection to Krishna? I mean, how could he have so much of faith? What is the previous life thing with him and Krishna? I just was inquiring because we're going to start reading about Prahlad Maharaj soon. I just wanted to
Yeah,
note.
in the Ekadashi story, in one of them, it's mentioned that Prahlad Maharaj, in his previous life, he was just an ordinary person, sense gratifying person who was, he and his girlfriend, they went to the forest, and there they met in the forest, and it was in an old abandoned temple, but the temple was of Narsimadev. And that place, the temple was hardly abandoned, so nobody was there, but it was very dusty, and full of cobwebs and all that. So they decided to clean that place because
Hmm.
um, and they wanted to spend the day there. So they cleaned the temple, and not only that, I think they fought with each other. So they didn't speak only the whole this thing. They didn't eat, they didn't sleep, they didn't do anything. So because of on that day of Ekadashi, they did that in a Narsimadev temple. So he got this birth as a devotee. He got the chance to become a devotee. That's what in that Ekadashi thing it's mentioned that Prahlad was like that, and because on he fasted on that particular Ekadashi and he served Narsimadev in the temple, he could be born like this.
Yeah, and then Narsimha Dev only protected him. Oh, that's so nice. I mean, how, ordinary life, like we think that this is our only life. This is happening. This is a positive. This is a negative. But, I mean, we should understand that there is more life. So that's why we say, the devotees are fearless. They don't care about death because, we are in the chain of going ahead. Of course, we want to break the chain, go back to Godhead. But anyway, if we don't have our complete, if it's not time, then of course, Krishna will give us more birth. And then we will continue just like these great personalities, So thank you, Mataji, for the wonderful class. Just my mind was intriguing into these thoughts, not exactly in a question form, but trying to understand that how, uh, it's amazing. Bhagavatam is amazing. And especially, we are so fortunate that Srila Prabhupada has given us these scriptures, which is going to help us in, our daily life. We have to, see how it's going to help us in a daily life because we can just remember the stories only and we feel so much lighter if there's some kind of a stress or anything we face during our material life. So thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Mataji, Dandavat Pranams, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. I was listening on YouTube and I just jumped on to the call. There were so many wonderful points you shared, like how all the Devi Devatas are stepping stones and they would like to give us also, elevate us to Krishna Prema. So many devotees, when they come into Krishna consciousness, they got introduced to Krishna consciousness and they progress. They share like how they were a great devotee of a particular Devata before and how they were introduced to this and they're understanding everything in understanding the hierarchy in a more better way and how that was helpful. That that praying was helpful them to become devotees. And that was so wonderfully explained by you. And the wonderful point that you said, like, none of the demons are powerful enough to fight with Krishna to give him a good fight. He really wanted a good fight, not like a reminding all of us he can take care from being in the spiritual world. That was also so sweet and wonderful, sweetness of the Lord. Thank you so much, Mataji. It was so wonderful. All the points. Thank you for your association.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dandat Pranam. All good to Prabhupada. That's such a nice class. Your association and your nectarine words are so much valued. And I like that, of course, everything they spoke and so was so much appealing. But one that I liked was that servitor God, Lord Balaram. He is himself God, but he is serving, and these demons, they think that they are the Lord. So that was very striking. Like Balaram, that's why he's Adi Guru. He teaches us how to be a servitor to Krishna. This very realization conjured up many philosophies together into a single focal point. That look at Lord Balaram, how he's serving Krishna. It's wonderful. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Okay, Rupini Mataji,
Anybody else has question, comments? Otherwise, we can end the call. But it was very nice, your association, Mataji. And there's always something to look forward in Krishna consciousness, I feel, like we have a Rath Yatras going on here. Then we have Ram Navami coming, So, but Mataji, Ram Navami is birth of Lord Ram, right? But then the other Ram Navami that comes in the month of October, that is, what is that? Then Ram Navami doesn't come, right? Ram Navami only come once a year.
Yes.
Navami meaning like birth?
No, Navami means 9th day of the moon.
Oh, that's why it's called Ram Navami.
Yeah, like Janma Ashtami. Radha Ashtami. So
Ashtami
Navami
is birth. Ashtami is
no,
birth.
Ashtami means 8th day. 8th day of the moon, waxing moon, like that. So this is 9th day of the waxing moon. So Navami.
Navami. Okay, but there is also a specific name, right? Like okay, Navami means 9th day and Ashtami means 8th day.
Yes, and Purnima, the Gaura Purnima, it's on the full moon day.
Full moon day. But also, like for Lord Krishna's birthday, we say Janmashtami. So
Ashtami, 8th day.
So how is the reference of the 8th day there in Janmashtami?
Yeah, he was born on the 8th day from this thing, new moon.
Oh, okay. So
Trayodashi, Nityananda Trayodashi, 13th day.
Okay, yeah, okay. So Ram Navami is only coming once a year. Am I correct?
Yeah.
On the 9th day, Lord Ram was born.
Yeah.
Okay. And also
Chaitya Mas. Chaitra Mas. Yeah.
Yeah, like, there were three ways, Jaya Vijay, they preferred the 3 choices, rather than the 7, because it was earlier to go back to Godhead.
Yeah.
So when the Katha was happening, when he came as Ravana, so that time he was connected to Lord Ram. So in that sense, there's no difference between Ram and Krishna. I mean, what I mean is, like, for the Shishupal, sorry, I'm saying the word wrong. Shishupal, he had this thing with the Krishna, right? Like if he says the 100th thing, he's going to cut his head out. So he was connected to Krishna. But then Ravan was not connected to Krishna directly, but he was connected to the katha of Lord Ram fighting with him. So in that sense, we can say there's not difference between Ram and Krishna. Is that okay to think like that?
Yes, of course. It's the same
Yeah.
person, only one
Yeah.
person.
Yes. Yes, like why I ask this is because sometimes we say that I had heard this earlier. When you say Krishna's name, it is that potency is there. When you say Vishnu's name, is so much potency is there, and Lord Ram is like so that sense. Sometimes it's spoken also in the Shastras, right?
That is because how close you are to Krishna. In his name, as Krishna means, it is like, he attracts us. We are most intimate, the connection with him. We can go up to conjugal love with Krishna. Whereas with Ram, only servant, master, and little bit of friendship. And Narayana, only servitorship. Only Krishna in that form, we can go so close to Krishna. That is why he is most powerful, his name.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much. So anybody else has, sorry if the questions were a little bit, not appropriate. So my mind is a little confused sometimes. So, but thank you so much, Mataji. If anybody has any comment question, otherwise we can end the call. Normally we have Shama Rasika Mataji on the call. Maybe she's busy, but
yes, Mataji, thank you so much.
Yeah, Mataji, we were missing you, your voice. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm little busy today. So thank you so much for this class, Mataji, and also explaining about the concept, like why Vyasadeva was not happy, and if we are not happy in our devotional service, we need to do more devotional service so that we can get more happiness in Krishna's service. So thank you so much for explaining that. Yeah. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Very good.
We can end up the call here by paying all the Vaishnavas obeisances. Vancha kalpataruvasya kripasindhu eva cha.
Namo Namah. Anand Koti Vaishnav ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Her Grace Prema Padmini Mataji ki jai.
Jai. Thank you so much, Mataji. And thank you so much. Yesterday only I messaged Mataji and she really kindly accepted it. So thank you, Mataji, for being always there.
Thank you.
Very good. It's my pleasure. It's my service. Very good. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.